Shit. Greetings, lovers of the loathsome. Welcome while I can't keep it up. Okay. So I've been waiting to do this one, but I guess I'll show you where you're listening to Infidel. Killing for Immortality. Hopefully this doesn't get me tagged, flagged, and bagged on YouTube. So I'm gonna do a book review, but there's comic book day. I got Road to Resurgence of the Valiant Universe, Exo Man of War Invictus, #1. And I've had the pleasure of reading some Exo Man of War before, and it's a weird idea. I remember this guy told me, he's all, dude, it's like Conan the Barbarian in Iron Man's armor. And I was like, that sounds stupid. I read it. It was awesome. I mean, the old ones were from like the late 80s. I haven't read this yet. I don't know how they're going to interpret that now, but the old ones were really good, really just weird. There's one where, I'll tell you this, like, yeah, the Exo guy, the guy in the suit, he's from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And he uses his suit, but he just goes out. He's, I need to go for a walk. And he goes out, and then he almost gets mugged. And he kills the guy who was trying to mug him. And it was like actually like 2 or 3 guys. And he kills them all, cuts their heads off, and he goes back to his base. And he has the heads. And like, you know, the people there are freaking out. They're like, you can't do this. And he said, what kind of world is this if you can't collect the heads of your enemies? So I give up. I thought that was awesome. And I got this, the world's #1 illustrated horror magazine, Shudder #17. I was like, what the hell? I haven't read it yet, but I mean, I'm just saying it's got to be good. Shudder. Okay, so now let's get to the book. I'm going to review The Troop, a novel by Nick Cutter. So there's this girl on YouTube, Slime and Slashers, Chelsea? I think it's Kelsey. She's the one who I learned of Fantastic Land from. This, and a bunch of other books. I thought Fantastic Land was fantastic. And I got The Troop, and this one, whoa, man, this was a whopper of a horror novel. I guess I'll read the back. Once a year, Scoutmaster Tim Riggs leads a troop of boys into the Canadian wilderness for a weekend camping trip. A tradition that is comforting and reliable as a good ghost story around a roaring bonfire. But when an unexpected intruder stumbles upon their campsite, shockingly thin, disturbingly pale, and voraciously hungry, Tim and the boys are exposed to something far more frightening than any tale of terror. The human carrier of a bioengineered nightmare, a horror that spreads faster than fear, a harrowing struggle for survival with no escape from the elements, the infected, or one another. That's a really good description of the book, but it does not give you like one inkling of how horrific this book is. Like, it starts out good, like Nick Cutter, oh my god. Nick Cutter is a good writer. He's a really good writer. And from page 1, actually he has this thing. It's like a news clipping that you read, and it's pretty funny and almost comes off like a B-movie, like intro. And then right away, it's just the infected guy. He steals a little motorboat, goes to the island where the Scoutmaster and the 5 Boy Scouts are. And yeah, I thought, okay, he's a Wendigo. He's, somehow the government created Wendigos and one escaped and got to this island and he's going to eat them. And no, that's not what happens. What happens is much, much, much worse. Uh, as I was reading this, it's really good, but it's not one of those extreme horror books. It's way better than those. It, Nick Cutter just doesn't try to gross you out and be just sick and disgusting and nasty and gross. He goes deeper than that. Because he there's I know their names. There's the Scoutmaster Tim. Then there's Kent. He's like the jock. Ephraim, who's like the loose cannon, wild card guy. Max, who's like the good guy. Newt, who's the fat nerd, dopey guy, kid. And there's Shelly, who's like an unknown quantity. And you get to know each of them, but in the first part of the book, like you get to know Kent, Ephraim, Newton, and Max, but I was like, he left out Shelly. I was like, he's just gonna get killed, you know. He's just like cannon fodder for the monster or whatever it is. But no, you find out who Shelly is, and I hated him. I wanted him dead. Like halfway through, like when you find out who and what he is and what kind of person he is. Scoutmaster Tim, he was a good guy. And then the guy that reaches the island who's infected, you really never... Oh, no, you do learn about him. But just very quickly and very early on. So yeah, this is just six of them stuck on an island with this insidious creation that just tears them apart. Like, not only are they like physically destroyed, mentally they're annihilated because they're stuck. They're just like, they're supposed to be picked up like the next day, and when they don't get picked up, they're like, why aren't the adults saving us? You know, like, we're kids, you know, we need their help, we need their guidance. They're gonna save us, and no one helps them. And they just don't understand that the island's been quarantined because of this guy. He's infected with I'll just call it a disease. I don't want to give it away, but it's just ravaging him. It just makes him so hungry. Like, again, early on in the book, like, he gets to the island and he just has this ravenous hunger where he grabs the slime algae off of a rock and eats it. And I was like, ugh. Oh, that's so gross. And he's eating dirt. He eats like the bedding of a bed. But yeah, I don't want to give it away because it's much better if you read it. But it also, like, what Nick Cutter puts these people through, these 4 kids, he just piles on the misery and sadness and depression and horror on them, to where after a while I was like, why do I like these kind of books? I was like, this is horrible. And then I'll just tell you, Shelley's like the bad one. He's almost like a Laymon level evil, like just totally worthless creature of humanity. Like, he just not even... I hate when, or I don't know, like, you know, they call people animals when they're horrible, but animals don't even do stuff like this. I don't think they... I know animals rape and murder, but there's just not the brutality or like the insidiousness. I'm using all these words. It's like the cruelty what humans will do to each other, and Shelley's a great example of that. And then there's the disease that's like devouring them. And then, like, at one point I was like, they're just all gonna die. I don't like. They're all dead. They might as well just kill each other, kill themselves to put themselves out of the misery they're going through. And then, like, it'll have these parts where they talk to the scientists and the military and the government, like officials that talk about what happened on. So, like, this, you're reading what's happening to the boys, but then you'll read parts where, like, I guess it's in the future, and you know, it's already a foregone conclusion of what happened to them. And I was like, yeah, they're all dead. They died horribly. So I don't know what else. Yeah, because I would really like if you read it. The Troop. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's just again, you know, it is actually like there is a monster sorta, but it's so horrible. Good horror novel. Like you can tell I got it from the library. They have more Nick Cutter books but I almost can't imagine that his other books are this good. I listened to an interview with him, and man, his picture is covered up. I want to see what he looks like. And he sounds like just a really nice, sweet guy. And I was like, well, how does all this horror come from this guy? And he even said like his intention was not to like hurt people with his writing. He wants them to enjoy it, and I believe him. I think he just wanted to write a really good, compelling, horrific horror story, and he did it, man. He did it. It's 435 pages. I started it on a late Wednesday night. I think it was already maybe almost midnight when I started it. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It took me 4 days to read it. So I was averaging like 100 pages a day or more. I think I read like 200 pages in the last 24 hours I was reading it. So Fantastic Land, The Troop, yeah, thanks Kelsey and Simon Slashers for like reviewing these books, because I found them and I loved them, and I hope someone else can see this and read it. Yeah, it's really good. Thanks for watching. I was really like apprehensive about doing this because I was like, what do I say about it? But now talking about it, I just don't want to reveal anything, because it's really better if you discover it on your own. The characters are great. And Kent, like, I didn't like him at first, and then I felt sorry for him. Ephraim, Max, Newton, they're all great kids, and I wish things would have turned out differently for them. So check out The Troop if you can, and I'll see you later.